St Kilda come in 16th, Carlton in 10th, hoping to jump up to 6th. Can they win a fifth straight game on the run into the finals? Reedy and Dodson get us underway, and it's Reedy who jams it on the boot to a pack inside the forward 50 for the Blues. O'Keefe kicked 5 last week. And then a tackle laid immediately. Taj Logan, who, as Lex told us, was the late in for Carlton. No Harry Charlson out there, so part of the AFL emergencies for a little bit later on, hoping to make his debut. He's been in good form, one who racked them up last week at VFL level. Armstrong clears it out of there, straight to Dane Harvey for the Blues. And here's Jacob Wiedering. So an early touch to just try and find some form, and Wiedering to Walker. So the Blues fans will like that this morning. To half forward for Fogarty. What's he got inside the arc? He drops it deep. Target there out the back. Logan strolls in. He was a late-in Taj Logan, but he's the first on the score sheet.
You can see Armstrong absolutely flying in from the offside there to impact that ball, and I think a slippery ball. He just didn't get full purchase on it with his fist. But how good was this build-up play? Fogarty went to play on a little bit here, steadied his feet, sent it to the dangerous area at the top of the square. You can see Eamon flying through and just didn't get the purchase on it and put it through. Yep. Taj Logan.
Yeah, if you're going to go, you got to impact. And Armstrong did not do that. It was the right decision, because I think 9 times out of 10 you're able to spoil that ball through for a behind. And it is going to be important, particularly the Blues in this first term, deliberate entries rather than just bombing it long and putting it right on the goal line.
Free kick out of the middle to Henry. He hands it off to McRae, who got caught in a bind. They work it out through Fincher. Goes wide to Chambers. He turns it over to Boyd. Running that double jumper setup that JJ noted a little bit earlier. Kick on the down low. Ben Campriali was there, trying to chase it down out wide, his brother Lucas, and then Logan's been busy early. He and Armstrong get tangled up again.
Not sure about the double jumper when it's wet. Makes you feel colder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It gets
twice as cold.
Yeah, shocking.
Here's Eamon Armstrong, the Irishman. Of course, joined by Kobe McDonald recently after County Mayo's win.
Yep.
GAA level. So he's flown out to Australia in recent days. The Category B rookie, very, very exciting prospect for Saints fans. O'Keefe, the target of the kick up toward half forward. He'll be sternly tested by the experienced Dougal Howard today. And Dougal's off for an early morning gallop. A dangerous kick across defensive 50. Banfield scoops it up, off to Hasty. Tried to dribble it out of trouble. Swooping in was Collard to lay the tackle. Logan Prout can't get it out of there. And the umpire will deem that he was in a bit of trouble there. The man from Leachville, Lance Collard, who's operated in defence for the Saints throughout the course of the season, took one of the great hangers inside the defensive 50. He's kicked an absolute mung outside. It's not a good day for ball flight.
No, it's not. Keen to know from Lex just what that weather is, what that wind is doing, because it's seemingly quite difficult for the Saints to move the ball. They're going to have to be really deliberate, and their forwards are going to have to play in front.
Check in with Lex shortly. Keeler rises in front of the pack after Banfield blasted it long. Sard, Wiedering, Boyd, Hollins, Williams, some experienced names there for the Blues, all getting an early touch of it. Then Campriali goes in. Boyd aggressively through the middle. Weighted it nicely in the end. Mark taken by Darcy Tucker. Rolls onto his left. Logan was the target of the kick. Taru ran past it. Moyer scooped it up. Jabs it inside 50. And Flynn Young doing what he does best and hitting up hard at the footy.
Beautiful, beautiful transition of play. Boyd's kick was fortuitous. He knew exactly where he wanted it to go, but that ball could have been turned over. Perhaps the Saints defenders needed to be on their toes a little bit more, but once it got through and the fat side of the ground was accessible, the entry was brilliant. And I've liked the look of this guy, Flynn Young. He's got some talent, just got to work on a few deficiencies in his game.
Mid-season draftee out of Werribee a couple of years ago. Kicked one last week for the Blues. Got one this week for the Blues. And Carlton off to the fast start at Moorabbin.
Saints have seemingly struggled to get the ball forward to centre so far. 2 centre clearances to the Blues have just put the Saints on the back foot, and then with some skill errors coming out of D50, they were lucky to have a lasso free kick paid against them. But whenever Carlton have had an opportunity to get the ball in their hand, they've just carved them up coming through the open side. So Saints have got to tighten up here.
Gee, as a footy club, Carlton have improved rapidly with their ball use. Could barely hit a target in the first 2 months of the season, but the shackles are off at both levels, and that was a beautiful money kick inside 50 from Ashton Moyer.
He's supremely skilled, Ashton Moyer, when he puts it all together. Liam Reedy waits to charge into Dodson, grabs it out of the ruck and just bangs it forward again. So playing with some real straight line attacking mode, the Blues early. Taru cuts it off, comes bounding out of defence. Walker, Prout, grabbed by Henry and dragged across.
Not quite the rangy athlete that his dad Andrew was. He's not quite as tall, but a bit of a lower centre of gravity, and he's very, very elusive and evasive. Loved watching what he did at Vic Country level earlier this year.
Dominated in their final game as
really
well.
Sharp. Got the Blues fans right up and about.
36 possessions, had that shoulder injury earlier in Vic Country's campaign. Chambers across half-back for the Saints. Banfield, Butler, did he pull that in? That's a pretty solid slips catch from Dan Butler. And he has a little wry smile to the crowd, who perhaps didn't agree with the adjudication. Walker did well to keep that in. Wiedering again, Prout's blind hand pass, sets up Campriali to drive it forward. Deep inside 50, Young was the target. Howard scooped it up. And now Taru to Armstrong. And you see there the territory dominance the Blues have had through the first 7 minutes.
The Blues look super organised. Every single time the Saints look up, they're forced into indecision, because behind the ball, they're just transitioning so well to get the density in front of the eyes of the Saints.
Now they've been hemmed in somewhat. Gallimberti at half-back. Butler and McRae, both of the little bounce passes down the line.
Oh.
Banfield goes for the aerial route. It hung in the air an eternity and swerved viciously into the lap of Ollie Hollins. Crashing through, Patrick said. Butler, Carroll, McRae. Now Gallimberti with the entry. It's an absolute sack. And it's easily cut off in the end by Sam Payer.
Yeah, it's going to be hard work going to the left of screen for both teams. So the Saints, even though they've been dominated in terms of field position early in the game, if they can just hang tough, maybe defend with the ball from time to time, they can get themselves to quarter time in decent shape.
Jack Ison, who we've seen at AFL level throughout the course of his debut campaign. So on screen, averaging 2 goals a game this season at VFL level. Footy skids through the back. Fincher, Howard, and now Angus Hasty, the Geelong product. Handball batted down on the way through. Back into dispute. Socket inside the 50, where Fincher again does some nice work down low, the rookie. And the Saints will just slow it up and go back into ball control mode, but easier said than done on a day like today. Armstrong sat underneath that footy, couldn't haul it in. Handball in field for McRae. Knocks it away from Tucker. Scooped up by Fogarty, who runs into a couple of tackles. Now Wiedering got caught. Said picked him off and wins the footy back for the Saints. Look of exasperation as he wobbles his kick to the 50 and it works out.
That was a pass.
Jack Bing, he knocks it inside the arc. Ended up just dribbling its way to Adam Sard. Walker gets the arms free. He stabs it back the other way along the ground. Not the cleanest stuff at the moment for both of these teams by foot. Butler to the pocket. McKenzie can't keep that one alive. It goes out. Alexia Pesce, you're a little bit more out in the elements than we are this morning. What is that wind doing?
Must be nice for you guys. The wind at the moment, I would say, is coming across the ground, but it's certainly not favouring one side just yet.
It's making things difficult for both teams by foot at the moment. This opening 10 minutes, the Saints have had to do plenty of tackling, as they are there. Wrapping up Ollie Hollands. 11 AFL games for Ollie Hollands this year. 5th VFL appearance. Riley. Chance around the body for Christian Algieri. That is some kind of finish. He summed it up magnificently.
Geez, it just looked like he bellied that one. I wasn't sure where that one was going, but you know, that's what they pay the goal umpires the big bucks for, and that's why they're out in the elements and we're up here in the commentary box, nice and dry. Just this ability to track the ball here, running towards the boundary. Quick hands there by McRae, just bought Algieri a bit of time to snap it onto his right, and the Saints are on the board.
Yeah, great finish, and it's pretty good reward. They've stabilised the game. First 6 inside 50s in the game were all for the Blues, but they've been able to stabilise the game. It is going to be incredibly difficult. Feels like despite that cross breeze, it's difficult, more difficult going to the left of screen. So defending with the ball, owning the ball is a pretty good idea for the team that is attacking to the left. So first 5 or 6 minutes, absolutely dominated by Carlton. They put the first 2 on the board in quick succession, but the game's just been stabilised nicely by the Saints.
Riley into the ruck now for the Blues. He and Reedy we've seen at AFL level this season. Boyd scurries in. The goal kicker Algieri tried to take it away for the Saints. Straight to Sard, and then Walker's handballed it back into the mush of Adam Sard. Free kick to Carroll, the ex-Blue. Advantage not paid. Come back, in fact, to Ned McGuinness. Out wide, crashing in Banfield. Gee, he plays with some spirit, this kid.
Yeah, absolutely. He's brave.
Boyd not happy with that. Not quite sure what about.
Good size, Banfield.
41st pick in the draft. Charlie Banfield last year, the West Australian. Wiedering upstairs. Can't complete the deal. Raised the tackle, Jacob Wiedering. Found plenty of the footy early, which should be nice for him. Drop back after injury. Just looking for some touch. Sard scrambles it out of there. Armstrong and Ison. Good tackle from Jack Ison. He dumped Armstrong into the ground, according to the umpire.
A bit unlucky there. Just the body weight fell into the back of Armstrong.
Gallenberti, Henry, Boyd. He reeled it in. Did Jordan Boyd. Blues by goal. Massive Sunday ticket on Fox. GWS Gold Coast in the nation's capital. The game we'll be sending you to after this one, of course. These two teams in both AFL and AFLW level. A little bit later this afternoon, the AFLW season opener between the Saints and the Blues. Carlton coming off a prelim last year. A lot of excitement about what they might be able to do in the 2026 W campaign. We get the best coverage throughout the course of the season right here on Fox Footy.
And I believe if you think the weather here at Moorabbin is not much good, wait till you see what it's like in Canberra today.
Possible sort of snow game
Grim
areas in Canberra. We've seen that before. Here's Carroll. Sard cut it off. Knocked it down intelligently. Almost spilled out to Elwyn Davey. And the Blues are going to bounce it back the other way on the counter here. Warburton kicks to the edge of the 50. And it was a mark or a downfield free kick. Take your pick to Flynn Young.
Some chance from here. Just depending on whether he can work this footy left to right with the breeze. He can pinch a metre or two. Just important not to overkick this. It's because you can see that you're on the worst side of the paint. You have to kick at 55. Just allow the breeze to do some of the work for you, and we know this guy can kick the footy quite nicely.
Dry is Sharon that he spins in his hands on the way in. We'll get a really good look at it. Arcs out left. It's coming back. It's coming back. It won't quite get there for Flynn Young.
Good effort.
18 goals on the season now, having kicked the last for the Blues. And Butler leading the possession winners on the ground for the Saints. Adam Sard likewise for the Baggers. You guys, that Keeler reels it in.
Real talent, Keeler, particularly at VFL level. He's going to need to work out what his role would be at AFL. I think he's probably a 75% forward, 25% ruckman, but just unable to nail down that role yet.
Come across half-back. Sampaio now through the middle. Footy was dropped there by Warburton. Fogarty. Umpire says, move it on, Lockie. Kicks inside the arc. Good mark, impressive mark taken by Jet Hartman, who intercepted at will last time out against Collingwood. He had 10 intercept possessions. Come outside the defensive 50, Keeler moving smoothly. Billy Richardson. Now, Billy Gallimberti. Henry in the long sleeves. Armstrong right on halfway. Directs some traffic. Kicked it nowhere near where he was pointing. Up to half forward, a good mark taken by Richardson. Another who plays with some real presence. Algieri's kicked it inside the 50. Butler's marked it. Went about 12 metres. It just fell into his lap. Carroll, Algieri throws his boot at it again. And then Wiedering lays a strong tackle.
A good tackle too. Just through the, or dropped the body height there, McGuinness, potentially looking for a high free, but it was well executed by Wiedering.
Riley slaps it clear. Alvin Davey crashes in and can't take it away. Jaden was playing for the Saints earlier in the season before hurting his knee. Chance for Harry Dixon on debut. Force at Kilda. Young man out of Old Scotch in the VFL. Howard inside the defensive 50. It hasn't worked out. Young scoops on the turnover. Off to Ison. Rolling into the open goal is Ryder Corrigan. And he bangs it through. And they were just preying on the mistake there, the Blues.
Self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah.
Howard's kick was a pretty good one. It just travelled, and that's what makes it so difficult in these conditions, Geordie, that seemingly simple just can get away from you. That ball just travelled a little bit further at the very end, and it made it a difficult mark for Hartman. He put it on the ground, and it was game over.
Yeah, and it seems like St Kilda had finally wrestled back a little bit of momentum. They'd had the ball in their front half, some good control of the footy down the far side. But as we saw with the last goal that Carlton also laid on, it just takes them one mistake inside 50 on the rebound. I know that it was a Howard mistake, but Carlton are clinical going back the other way.
Just thought Ison had nearly put enough loop on that handball to get it back as well. I could see what he was thinking there, looking for the 1-2.
Almost a nice bit of craft from Jack Ison. Liam Reedy kicks it a mile inside the 50 again. He has been huge in there early. Big bump coming from Davey. Might have been the young fella Dixon flashing through the contest there. Either he or Taru. Get a great sight of who it was. It is Harry Dixon who goes down low.
Packs a bit of power, Davey. He's a robust character.
Very nice verbiage to describe him. As Dane Harvey, that glorious moustache, just operating with some real authority in defence. Wiedering spears it for Williams. Williams tried to get it to Davey. Streaming back the other way was Taru, who fell over and still did enough to get the handball away to Dixon. Dodson, and that'll go out for a lasso free kick.
Just a couple of times in the game, the Saints rucks, Dodson and Keeler have allowed Reedy to grab it out of the ruck. You just don't want to be fighting against. Field position is going to be so important. You can't allow the opposition ruckman to boot it inside 50.
Low wobbly kick in from Lucas Campriali. Jack McRae's got all the time in the world. He just waltzes through across the defensive 50 and finds a little outlet to Algieri. This is where it came unstuck last time in for the Saints. I'll do it with a little bit more decisiveness this time. Hartman, Gallimberti, Chambers, Dixon. Now back to Gallimberti, who's run across that defensive 50. Whipping into the corridor for Angus Hasty. McRae now directs some traffic. Had Hasty cruising past. Now the entry. Flying, almost taking the mark there was Jack Bank. He's dragged to the ground by Williams. Wiedering to the bench for the Blues. 5 disposals in the early going. 3 marks.
Managed minutes, you'd imagine, for him. Maybe 8 kilometres of GPS might be his limit, something like that. Maybe it's 60 minutes or 80 minutes. I'll have a plan in place for him.
He's had that calf injury that was worse than they first suspected, that he picked up a training a couple of weeks ago. Blues by 13, looking for a 5th straight win in this VFL campaign. They will jump up to 6th spot with another W today. Harvey gets it out of there to Davey. He just eases the kick down the line and he breaks the ground wide open. Just needs to sit for Moyer. It did eventually. Low kick inside the 50. It was a beautiful entry again off the boot of Ashton Moyer. And Flynn Young will get a look at them from 40 out.
Seen that already in this first term. Moyer to Young on the lead. Just thought there was a missed opportunity from a Saints defender to press up. And that ball hit the turf. It's always going to skid. And the really good defensive teams come forward to defend. And I reckon they could have chopped that off. And because they did not, this is the result.
Young around the corner. Got it. A little bit narrow.
Been busy. 3 shots at goal in the first term for him. He's a really interesting player in the sort of Bailey Fritsch mould of in-between size, can take a mark, really good on the lead. Left footer, of course, helps.
A great set of hands for a player who's only around 180 centimetres, so
certainly looks and plays taller than the 180.
11 marks last week for Flynn Young, big part of his game. Kick up the line, Reedy and Keeler can't keep it in, and Logan walks Jack McRae across. Does that come off a boot, or is Jack McRae just being courteous and throwing it back to the umpire?
The community service. I'm always a bit sceptical of the heights, Geordie. I don't know whether there's more policing enforced, but we were always asked how tall we were, so you could just offer up whatever number you really wanted to, depending how you felt.
I've definitely added a few centimetres.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you listed as then?
I reckon I'm listed as 175. I'm not 175.
Are we talking 170, or are we talking less than 170?
No, only 1 or 2.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, sure, yep.
So just on a good day, you roll out of bed, you've been stretched out, I'd probably be 175. And then gravity takes its toll, and I'm 173.
Fierce contest from O'Keefe, and Young dragged down by Hasty. Sort of like in cricket, isn't it? Oh, how'd you go today? Yeah, I got 40-odd. 59.
Sounds like you've rolled that line out a few times.
As if I got 40-odd. 14-point lead for the Blues. Free kick out of the ruck, going to the Saints. Big Alex Dodson. South Australian dominated at the Championships a couple of years ago. He's had a couple of looks at AFL level for the Saints, but nothing lasting, of course. They drafted him and then went and got Tom de Koning out of the Blues and already had Rowan Marshall. Glut of rucks. Dodson, a talented young prospect.
Just will have seen, Blues fans, the free kick count of 9-zip. Just hold fire on it. It's not impacting the game as yet, so just calm down. See how it plays itself out.
When it flashes up alongside the scoreboard, things are looking a little bit rosier for the Carlton fans. Finch's kick did not spin at all correctly down the line, and Jordan Boyd, who's always in the cut and thrust of the game, doesn't mind a little bit of the verbal stuff.
Generally, the free kick count is referenced by the fan base that has lost or is losing. Yep. So at the moment, Blues fans might be too worried about it, but 9 zips are considerable discrepancy.
Yes, yeah, in the words of Chris Scott, it's really strange.
There's one. 9-1.
So one for the Baggers this time. They'll get a deep entry. Young's the target. He got one paw up. Chase it toward the boundary line. Taru tackled. Needs to try and get rid of it. Umpire said he did. Back from suspension, Alex Taru. He's had a couple of indiscretions throughout the course of the season, the young Saint.
He has.
Fincher blasted out of there again. Over the top of the pack came Harvey. Ball got out the back. Here's Richardson, and the Saints are away. Billy drives it inside the arc. Prout and Collard. Who wins out? Collard just pushes Prout to the footy. Runs onto it. Can he get a boot on it? He did, but it was the wrong side of the post. And that was a good old scrap between Logan Prout and Lance Collard.
He did well, Prout. There was no doubt Collard was going to win the foot race. He just had to make sure he didn't fall over and then didn't allow Collard. You could see Collard was just trying to get the ball to sit in a way that he could kick it off the ground, but Prout, the defender, that's why the defender's job is just so much easier than the forward's.
So much easier.
Drafted as a forward, of course, Lance Collard, across half-back this season. He comes sprinting out of that forward line as well to apply some pressure on the wing. But the Blues have walked it up to half-forward. Riley, Lucas Campriali, thrown into the turf by Algeria. Fincher's been busy early. Shows them a clean pair of heels there, as does McRae. Now Butler can get creative with it from half-forward. And he just didn't have the required carry on the entry, and an easy pick-off for Saar. Now Cody Walker. Blues by 13 late this opening term. Knocked off Brisbane by 60 last week. The Suns, the Hawks, and the Tigers in succession before that. It's been a season of streaks for both of these two teams. Moyer inside the 50. Reedy made the contest, spilt down to Ison. Hollands hooks it centrally, almost to Walker. Davey. Oh, a little soccer off the ground was nifty, trying to open things up. Dixon pulled off it. Taru. Now Logan fights with Keeler. That was a mismatch in terms of size and weight class. And the Saints will get out of trouble here. Dan Butler can slow things down.
Yeah, wise from Butler there. Just at half-back, you don't need to be keeping this game live. Just take some territory, maybe even another stoppage.
Whacks it up the wing. Stays alive for Henry. Fast hands from the Blues, which we've seen a number of times so far. The siren beats their charge forward, but they are in charge at quarter time. Carlton, a bright start for them. Winners of their last 5.
Back and set himself up, so he just finds so much time. I love the way that when he wins the ball back, he's really decisive, and he's just quick to move the ball on. So great from a defensive perspective, because defense sets up your offense.
Liam Reedy back into the ruck, and again part of getting things moving for the Blues. Barrels a few over along the way. He just kept the legs rumbling. Ben Campriali with a forward hand pass. That was the first possession in the chain. Banfield in defence. Got it out of there just in the nick of time. Clearing kick through the hands of Butler. Scooped up by Sard. Pokes it wide for Walker. You can see that intent from Reedy again to try and just rip it out of the ruck.
He's been good, big Reedy. Walker's up to 6 disposals as well, doing a good job.
Deep entry. Moyer flies from the side. Taru there as well. Taru's dragged to the ground. Ask for some space to be led behind the contest. Tucker, Walker. And Walker will stroll into the open goal. Can he curl it back? Yes, he can. And there's a glimpse at the class of Cody Walker.
Oh, pretty impressive. Geordie, if you're a Blues fan, it's hard not to be. They were pretty excited about the prospects of Jagger Smith. I think they might even be more excited about this young man's prospects, involved twice in the chain there.
Yeah, look at his activity. He just wants the ball. He's on the move as a defender. That's so hard, moving through the contest to give and get. You obviously can't hold him back. You can't hold his jersey, so you've got to let go. And as soon as he got rid of that ball, you could see the defender's just gone hands off, and he's put the Jets on, got the ball back and finished it off.
He's a little bit proppy. It wouldn't take much for me if I was running the show at Carlton to say, that'll do, I've seen enough.
Yep.
I know you might only have a little knock on the shin, but that'll do. You've already got the right hamstring wrapped, which is a sort of maybe a corky or something in that regard. The left shoulder's taped up. It won't take much for me to say, that'll do.
Yeah, Chris Davies is just staring at his phone at the moment. He's just not quite sure whether it's a text or a phone call. He's weighing up his options. Saints with the clearance this time. Boyd and Pat said chase it out toward the boundary line, and they almost both go tumbling over the signage out there.
His ability to cut through traffic on the angle was what stood out in that dominating under-18s Vic Country game, and it was a glimpse of it there. His ability to get around and step through traffic is really sharp.
Look at the Carlton assistant coaches, Jacob Townsend among them. Of course, Damien Truslove has the reins this year at the Blues, and he's done a great job, particularly in more recent times. Prout, and a strong tackle laid on Darcy Tucker. Just a little bit on the season for these two teams. So there's Brendan Goddard in the Saints box. So the Saints lost their first 6, then went 6 games undefeated in a row, and have since lost their past 4. Carlton lost their first 2, won their next 5, lost their next 5, and have won their past 4. So it's just been a season of streaks for both of these teams. They have been hot and cold throughout the campaign. Carlton have gone through patches with massive availability, with 17 listed players in games. The Saints had that hot patch in the middle of the season. That was undone by Essendon, who've now lost 5 in a row after a nail-biter against Collingwood yesterday. Fox Footy's own, our favourite sons of the Bombers. Sard almost on the wing. Chambers swoops in for the Saints. Blind hand pass over the head of Carroll, turned it over. Hollins, Moyer, Tucker got caught. Fincher probably should have got the free kick. Ball came loose. Carroll goes back in and wins it back for St Kilda after mucking it up, and kicked it straight to big Liam Reedy, who almost fell on top of him as well. Gets down low, picks the footy up. He's in a mood this morning, Liam Reedy. No idea what he had for breakfast, but I reckon he could have a little niche market of it, the way he's playing at the moment. Ball goes out for a throw-in.
I reckon he likes to sleep in, because the 7 a.m. departure from Icon Park to be at Moorabbin for the prep time.
Well, he might still be operating on WA time. He's only been back for a year.
He might be even angrier with that wake-up time. But it's good to see. I mean, in conditions like this, to have a big physical big guy just doing his thing is so important.
Walker, just a little almost underhanded hand pass there among that stoppage, and then Campriali's been pushed into that one. It's trickled off his boot.
It's come off his foot there, inadvertent.
So it should be a lasso free. Umpires are going to have a chat about it.
Look quite clearly, it is.
So there you go.
Couple sets of Ugg boots in the crowd. Good to see.
It's the day for it, that's for sure. Collard, Keeler. Hand on that from Payer. Williams tried to flip it out of there. Banfield again, strong at the contest, and then kicks it an absolute mile up onto the hill. Jacob Wiedering will have the footy coming up for disposal number 6. So played those 2 games in 2018 on the way back from a quad injury, which is a little bit of an indifferent season for him, just his 3rd at AFL level. Absolutely dominated in the couple of VFL games that he played. Taru showcases some of his athleticism with an impressive high mark.
That's why they call him the Flying Viking.
Sends it to full forward. And if he's the Flying Viking, then Wiedering's decidedly more ground-bound, but he was good enough to take the footy there, and Butler ripped it off him. He was tackled by Hollins.
He's a very strong Viking. Assure you of that from experience. He's unbelievable with his angles as well, Wiedering. He can just take leading lanes away just by his positioning.
And Dan Can Butler get acquainted once more?
Played in Carlton teams that were so poor for so long, and sometimes you can sink or swim. He was able to swim. He thrived on just repeat entries against, and just gave him the experience and the opportunities to learn what he can and can't do as an AFL player, and he's benefiting now.
Second year in a row we've seen someone from the All-Australian team have a stint in the VFL. It was Adam Treloar last year after being All-Australian in 2024. Wiedering, I thought he'd be spending too much time at VFL level. Free kick there, perhaps for a throw against Fogarty, who was a little bit bemused by all of that. And Kai Fincher, only 2 goals on the season for Kai, but he can give it a whack. Local boy.
And he fancies his chances. He was quick to point at goal and asked for his 30, so let's see.
27 touches last time out, finding plenty of the footy at the back end of his rookie campaign. 9 already today. It'll take a really good kick from here, and a really good kick is what Kai Fincher almost delivers. It goes right to the line, and big Dougal Howard kept it in. Ollie Hollands walked it across. He was probably about 30 centimetres short.
I just wonder whether Dougal was the one who might have got hands on that.
I think it certainly looked like he was.
He was probably committed to it, but could have let that go.
Reedy just in time out to Walker, who's stayed out there for the Blues. So Chris Davies hasn't hit the big green dial button yet. Then Campriali, Lockie Fogarty chips it off the deck inside the arc. Ison rises up. He's dragged off it. Butler goes through. Likewise. Got it away to Hasty. Scrambles a wide kick, and it bounces cruelly away from Bailey McKenzie. Hasn't been sighted much yet, Bailey McKenzie. Kicked 5 last time out, and that's gone from out for a lasso free kick to out of bounds on the full, and it's about the first thing Liam Reedy's done wrong for the morning.
And he's dragged himself for it.
Then Campriali coming off a little bit sore a couple of moments ago as well after being involved in a physical contest. Collard up the line. McKenzie flies in, as does Richardson. Logan kept it alive. He goes hurtling over the top of McRae. McRae shovels it out to Bailey McKenzie. And his stabbed kick inside the arc will bounce out untouched.
It was Taru that came up and bumper barred Campriali. Whether there was an elbow or just a bump to the body there of Campriali, which has just left him a little bit sore. He certainly plays to win, Taru. Now, he's got some technique issues he needs to fix, but he plays the game flat out.
Saints footy brass watching on. Lenny Hayes up on the balcony. Nice spot to enjoy the action.
High tackle.
Free kick. It will be a high tackle. And the free kick will go to Ned McGuinness.
You looked for one in the first quarter against Wiedering that he didn't get. This one was a little bit more genuine, but players, Geordie, across every level of footy, who just he just put that right shoulder down. I think it's one of the most infuriating things as an opponent when you get done for a player that's just dropped their body height ever so slightly.
Kicked 4 here against Box Hill earlier in the season. Did Ned McGuinness, 17 goals on the campaign. And he makes it an 18th with a really sweet strike. And the Saints get their first of the second term.
Yeah, you're spot on. Tucker there was thick on himself for giving away that free kick, but it definitely is a craft, and obviously they adjusted the rules to prevent players, or to maybe not reward players, but there's still ways around it. It's less of that shrug motion, maybe that throwing back of the head to signal, hey, umpire, look where his arms are.
Just staying down there for, a split second. If we're half a metre apart, I'm anticipating that you've got time to stand up. If you just stay down there for a little bit longer, it can make it difficult. James Peatling's one of the best in the competition. He just stays that little bit lower for a little bit longer and often draws that high tackle.
Good night for that in Adelaide last night.
It
for
was,
Peatling
yes.
and the Crows. What about Isaac Rankin's game?
Oh,
Unbelievable.
Not one for the replays, that game. You can throw Geelong and Essendon in for that matter.
Yeah, I'm not sure anyone's watching Sydney Port Adelaide on repeat
No.
either, just quietly.
We are watching Melbourne Fremantle.
Oh, yeah.
that's it.
Yep,
It's a proper
absolutely.
game for-
Free kick to the Blues here inside forward 50. And it will be Flynn Young, who's had a very, very busy morning. 1 goal, 2 already for Flynn Young. Get another look at them here.
Just a hold of the right arm there. It's not a lot in it. Dougal Howard didn't agree, but he wasn't involved in the contest. So just Hartman restricting Young's ability to get back to the drop of the footy there. So not a lot in it, but gee, they're hot on the defenders with arms around and little grapples and holds late in the season.
Young struts in, puts his left shoe through it, and geez, put that all the way across the face. That's a bad miss.
4 shots a goal, only 1 goal to show for it. Should have done better there. The long shot from outside 50 that almost got there, so he'd be disappointed he hasn't got more to show than just 1 goal too.
Especially if conditions are going to get a little bit trickier as we go throughout the course of the morning. Guinness at half-back for the Saints, looking for an outlet. Stabs it to Howard. Experienced defender Dougal Howard, 144 AFL games, back into the team this week after being managed before the bye. Here's Taru. Only seen him 4 times at VFL level this season, 8 at AFL level. Found McGuinness, off to Algieri. Algieri drives it to full forward. And it doesn't quite get there.
Good build-up though, really nice build-up. Couple of sharp kicks back on the 45, one from Taru, and then the quick handball receive deserved better.
Carlton will go into this high possession mode that's served them well in recent weeks. Saad just blasts it in hope. Needs to stay alive and doesn't. So that's a poor result in the end. Ran himself into trouble, and deer in the headlights stuff from Adam Saad.
28 disposals between Williams and Saad off half-back, so pretty good numbers for the 2 guys that are charged with rebounding off half-back.
Stack of AFL experience between the 2 of them at multiple clubs. Jack Carroll down the line. Wiedering got hands to it. Saad, Lucas Campriali, back to Adam Saad. This time he's a little bit more decisive with his disposal to half forward. Charging out to meet it there. Not being able to take the mark was Hartman. Spilled away to Dixon, back to Hartman. Dangerous hand pass through the hands of Logan. Scooped up by Butler. Looped wide for Armstrong, who had a couple of goes at it. And then he dashes away with a bounce. He bounced it from chest height.
I love watching the Irish do that.
Made it work, though. And then he plays basketball with it, Eamon Armstrong. He's doing it unconventionally, but effectively at the moment. Howard along the boundary line. He got tackled and caught holding the ball.
Just dropping the ball there. They swung Howard forward. But at least he's trying to get forward at different stages. Just the advantage of the breeze. Perhaps to try and nullify Wiedering's aerial impact as well.
It's Wiedering who ends up with the footy. The kick just drops a little bit short to Logan Prout. 15th game of the season for this Carlton side for Prout. Rising was O'Keefe, hasn't had a disposal as yet, coming off 5 last week. So he's been well held in the early going. Walker wanted it from Hollands, got it, measured it beautifully. Riley. Big fella. Kicks to a dangerous spot. Coming from the back was Paya. It's spilt to Davey. His kick hits the outside of the boot.
Good build-up. Good effort to keep that ball alive. Don't concede on the intercept mark. Coaches, probably one of the things they dislike the most is allowing intercept marks inside your forward 50. So not conceding there just generates one more scoring opportunity. You don't get the goal from it, but at least it generates another opportunity.
Footy Bounces out of play. Untouched, so Jordan Boyd will bring it back in. The Saints watching on the balcony. Prime posse on this Sunday morning at RSEA Park in Moorabbin. And Jordan Boyd got caught hopelessly there by Armstrong. And unsurprisingly, Boyd's got a little bit to say in the aftermath.
As does an Irish player, because
yes,
they are unbelievably competitive across the board.
Good on the lip.
I have not run into an Irish player yet who is not ultra competitive. Sometimes it's hidden and it doesn't always reveal itself, but I can assure you they are unbelievable competitors.
This comes with the territory from that part of the world. Hartman down the line. They all fell over in front of Harvey. He couldn't pull in the mark. Richardson fights for it on the deck. There's no free kick. A couple get up and plead their case. In fact, there is a free kick in the end. And it is going to Carlton Hollands. So he was the one who got up immediately and turned around to the umpire and had the arms out. Ollie Hollands rolls away. Payer among the targets. Floating in is Hasty. Mark will be paid for young Angus Hasty.
Henry and Collard, 4 disposals for Collard, only 5 for Henry. He did start Henry on ball, but just hasn't had an impact.
But he slips through his hands there, right on cue. And Williams wheels away. Drives it deep. Payer!
Saints just couldn't capitalise on their rebounds then. Just a skill error there from Henry there. Just slipped through the cracks. Might have been an opportunity for them to enter forward 50. Carlton were just peppering rebound after rebound.
Feels a crucial time in Henry's career. He's had some injury issues at the Saints. He did have a small period of time where he looked quite electric in the Saints AFL team, but injury and form has really dropped away and he's had minimal impact this season.
Sam Payer won't be able to bring that back. He'll barely have the carry from inside the 50 in the end. 11 intercepts last week against the Lions, so capable of playing at both ends of the ground. 7 goals, 9 now on the season. Chambers whacks it in for the Saints. Free kick in this marking contest too. It'll be handed to Bailey McKenzie. .13-point lead for the Blues. Part of your Sunday ticket here on Fox Footy. Joel Peterson, Josh Jenkins, Geordie Allen, Alexia Pesce with you. And a free kick and 50 here. So Keeler and Reedy were floating toward that man on the mark.
I don't know that we're going to really want to see the replay, because I'd suggest the umpire has perhaps by name asked Reedy to stand, and Williams stood, unless it was a verbal thing, and I'm hoping it was a verbal thing because there was a player standing, which is what the rule asks.
So Jack Benk will have the set shot. He gets waltzed inside the forward 50. And Benk's kick is money. Second goal of the quarter for the Saints. And they close the gap.
It's a gift there for the Saints. Feels like they've been trying to wrestle back momentum for the first half of this quarter. Here's the replay, Josh. What do you reckon?
I think, there it is. No, so there was a left hand. So I take everything back about the stand rule.
And the verbal abuse.
It was a left hand just high up in the sort of throat region of Keeler. It wasn't much in it, to be honest. Were you going for money in the bank there? Was that what you were angling to?
I just thought I might just slide that one through untouched.
Risky. No, that was a risky one.
It's you don't get away with those on a Sunday morning all that often.
But it was, yeah, it was. I didn't think that was a 50-metre penalty, but left hand sort of up high-ish between Keeler and Reedy was the reason for it.
So 7 points, the gap in the game. And the Blues come out of the middle, and it's the two big fellas combining, Reedy to Riley.
Third time in the game that Reedy's been able to grab it out of the ruck. He's had a fourth centre clearance just by paddling the ball forward, but it just kills you. On a day where field position is king, you just can't allow the opposition ruckman to grab it out of the ruck in that manner.
He's been really powerful in there. And now Big Flynn to finish off his work. He's just snuck that one in. And the Blues get the instant response, courtesy of the two biggest men on the ground.
Reedy's been unbelievable. He's had 6 inside 50s, 3 more than any other person on the ground. And I dare say that they've all been from centre clearances pretty much. He's got 6 clearances to his name, so he's doing it in the air and on the ground level. He may as well just tell his mids to take a day off because he's doing it all.
Yeah, that was force into finesse there. He just powered in at centre bounce, grabbed it out of the ruck, and then decided just to spot up his brother big man, Flynn Riley, on the move. That was very, very impressive from one ruckman to another.
And I would have thought that man would be very happy to be music to his ears.
Yes, yeah, Josh Fraser, very good ruckman and forward for the Pies. And again, he's just jumping across the line and overpowering Dodson.
And then almost, he's getting forward after the fact. He almost ended up with it there. It was Dodson that handed it up to Carroll. Bounces on its point for Richardson. He's looked a little bit sore throughout the course of the morning. Dixon shook a few. He couldn't find Henry inside 50. Ball just skidding on the damp turf. So the Blues by 13 points. These two teams met earlier in the season. Back in round 6, it was Carlton by 5 on that occasion. Win that took them to 3-2 on the season. That was the last of those 6 consecutive losses that the Saints had to start their campaign. Dodson, he steadies up and bangs it into the post.
Might be the first counter punch we'd seen from Dodson. He's definitely got his hands full with Reedy and Riley.
Doesn't necessarily play with the same physicality, Alex Dodson. Gets a stack of the footy around the ground, but he's not really that big brawler in the middle.
More of a Todd Goldstein type, Sam Jacobs type. More of a finesse ruckman who effectively becomes a fourth midfielder, really. Dean Cox style.
Some of the numbers from him have been absolutely absurd in his couple of VFL seasons so far. Not quite Pete Ladham's level, but approaching that kind of operation. Hollands across half-back for the Blues. Fast hands. Orbiton got dragged down, flipped it up in the process, and did well. Boyd. Running on back with the flight there was Davey, and he ran himself into trouble. Dougal Howard was in the right spot and laid an effective tackle. Two-goal game. Sunday ticket on Fox. GWS Gold Coast from the nation's capital coming up after we're done here. Massive Sunday of footy on the way, culminating in the Spuds game. Doubleheader at Marvel Stadium tonight. Curling kick inside the 50 for the Saints. It's dropped by Harvey, almost for Keeler. Boyd now in the pocket, a chance for Bink, who can't roll that one through.
Been a reasonable quarter, though, for the Saints. Been able to generate plenty of entries. It's just hard to be clean given the conditions. We've seen both teams have issues. The Blues are a little bit slicker with their entries in that first term, but been a good period of the game for the Saints. I'll be hoping there's one more in the game for them.
2 goals 4 for the quarter compared to Carlton's 2 goals 2. Williams curls it back the other way and can't keep it alive. He went sliding off into the fence for his trouble as well. Dodson measures it nicely. Mark taken by Sed, who got a little bit of treatment from Jordan Boyd after the fact.
It's not going to be an easy kick, but you get that, he'll get the right to left, which should aid him. So if you can start it probably outside right-hand goal post, you might get a favourable swing here.
2 last time out, 14 on the season. Kicks looks pretty good. It's touched on the way through. He can't believe it.
I don't know who's... Was it touched off?
Maybe
the
off the marks. Might have been the determination there. He certainly didn't agree with that.
No. Well, that's a strange one, particularly given his demeanour.
Certainly didn't affect the trajectory of said kick. Saints will get another look at it here, as will we.
It's gone nowhere near Boyd's hand.
That's he may as well have kicked that from Sandringham, because that was nowhere near Jordan Boyd at Moorabbin.
Well, it'd be good to try and get another look at what happened on the goal line, because it definitely was not touched by Boyd. No chance. Great work from our Fox Footy cameras to pick that up. There was no chance that was touched.
Oh, Taru again.
Sticky mitts.
He gets the crowd excited, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
The 2 loudest cheers of the game thus far.
A little bit of cult status around the Flying Viking. Collard at ground level. Offloaded to Sed, who got walloped before he could get boot to ball. Bounces out for Armstrong. Ison goes into battle. Does well. Fogarty, Ben Campriali. Oh, and then Taru's come in late, which he needs to be really careful with.
Very.
Yeah.
Because it's cost him a couple of times already this year. Ben Campriali's dragged off it by Collard. No free kick for the Saints. Wiedering waiting forward of the footy. Carroll. Now Henry. As St Kilda take control once more. Gallimberti bounces it out to Butler on the outer side. The run of the captain, Gallimberti, to knock it over the top. Sed's had a good couple of minutes. Enters the 50 and finds big Billy Richardson.
Big fan of Richardson. We saw him. He went for a bit of a gallop in that first quarter, and he just has so much power for a big guy. 20 goals on the season. Can definitely know how to find the big sticks.
So same kick really, a little bit closer than the previous. Just got to kick it without too much power and allow that breeze to assist.
20 goals, 16, nowhere near the man on the mark this time. Unfortunately, not all that close to the major opening either. Every game this season for Billy Richardson. They've done it by minor scores here. 4 behinds in a row for the Saints to get it back to a single-figure game. Carlton with 2-2 in the term. Saints with 2 goals, 6 late in this opening half. Carlton trying to win a 5th in a row. The Saints trying to avoid having lost a 5th in a row. Carroll off the back of the pack, gave up a lot of ground. Taru on the diagonal hand pass was clever to Dodson. Now they generate some run. Algieri, Collard, Butler, tight to the boundary. Needs a good kick. Dan Butler delivers a blow.
What a kick. Great build-up play there for the Saints, just giving the ball to someone who is in a better position than themselves. Looked like the most decisive they've gone forward. And as you said, Joel, 4 points on the bounce to finally convert with a goal. It seems like reward for effort here.
Yeah, what a finish. I mean, the breeze has played its part, but I wasn't certain the handball from Collard was the right one to go wider. He could have stepped back inside, but Butler, now again, your training venue, Geordie, you have so many shots from those types of positions. So Dan Butler's probably kicked that goal 500 times across his life as a Saint. So it was the one that we felt like they deserved. They'd been peppering away some set shots that had missed, but in that moment, they certainly felt like they deserved one, and they got one.
Zach Williams being put off the ground, which is troubling for Carlton. Lex, what did you see there with Williams coming off the ground?
I didn't see the actual incident, but he did come off pointing to his throat and was hunched over a fair bit. He called for the trainer straight away, so I'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, might have gone down in sympathy with me. Pointing to his throat. What a goal that was from Dan Butler. He's thrown me for a loop, that's for sure. Three-point game. Saints fought their way back into this contest beautifully. Boyd intercepts. Had the tall timber up there. Moya kicks it a mile in the air. Rushing in there, trying to take it was Logan. Bashed the other way. And we get to half-time. The Saints have closed with a flurry.
He's okay.
Absolutely. Second half underway here at RSCA Park in Moorabbin. What a surprise. Liam Reddy takes it out of the ruck to get us going. He is playing inspired footy this morning. Fogarty kicks it inside the arc. Opportunity up there for Ryder Corrigan, who kicked a goal in the opening term. Flynn Young fights for it. 1 goal, 2, and 1 out of bounds on the full for his morning. And it is locked up. Blake Chambers busy in this game so far for the Saints in defence. 14 listed players out there for both teams this morning. No Harry Charlson for Carlton. He was a late exclusion. Dan Butler a late inclusion for the Saints. Reedy taps it on. Free kick, high tackle. And it'll go the way of Charlie Banfield, who, again, has been impressive today, JJ.
Yeah, like his size, combative, happy to engage in a contest. Not sure what his best position will be long-term, but this is going to be the challenge again for the Saints. I had it in the first quarter, just the ability to try and get some field position.
Seen challenging conditions throughout the morning. Kick for Howard, knocked down by Lucas Campriali. Hyson had a fumble at the critical moment. Picked up by Moya. Moya off to Young. Young with a central kick. Great vision. Really good vision from Flynn Young. And Taj Logan was leaking in from the back and takes the mark in close.
All started by Lucas Campriali. You can see Hollands and other teammates getting to him. Really well done defensively. Came forward, came off his man and intercepted that exit kick from the Saints, and maybe Flynn Young, Geordie, just missed one too many and decided to share this one round.
Kick the first of the game to this end, Taj Logan, and can't add the first of the second half.
A lot of players would have gone around the corner from that position. We haven't seen a player kick a goal and come from the ground yet. Joel?
It'll happen. It'll happen.
They've only had 9 goals.
Our magnificent Fox team, they'll get me a shot of it. We'll talk that into existence at some point. I'll remind you and you'll remind me that it probably didn't happen on the other, however many goals were kicked in the game. Armstrong down the line, Wiedering with strength. He whips it across the corridor immediately to start the chain. He's linked up with Walker a couple of times. Walker's wobbly kick inside the 50. They all left it go. Crashing up was O'Keefe. Moya with fast hands. Carroll. Young pushed off it. O'Keefe's been quiet. Still hasn't had a disposal, Hudson O'Keefe, in this game. Coming off a huge performance last week against the Lions. Ball on the deck. Lucas Campriali puts his head over it and is rewarded.
That's that competitiveness you were talking about, JJ. You can see Armstrong there just remonstrating a little bit, unhappy with the call. I think it's a high. Is it a high call here?
Looked that way.
Yeah, looked it, yeah. Don't like watching Lucas and Ben Campriali play because they make me feel old because they were running around at the Crows when their dad Scott was our midfield coach.
Hasn't kicked one this season, Lucas Campriali. That's shaping nicely. He loves it. And the Blues get the first of the second half.
So relaxed, just started at left, let the wind do the rest. He got the praise from his teammates on the last score from the Blues.
It's funny how the game rewards you, isn't it? His defensive effort that set up the previous shot at goal, and he gets rewarded there. I mean, that's a a delicate free kick, maybe not quite there, but a good finish from him. Liked what he was able to do early in his career. He's got the heat pack on under the jumper there, I think.
So he had a lacerated kidney earlier in the season.
Kidney belt.
Yeah, might be the little bit of protection
course.
there. I think that was in a game against, might have been one of the very first games of the season against Collingwood, I reckon. He copped that. Spent a bit of time in hospital.
Gosh, who signs up to play this game? Larynxes and kidneys and livers. Not us, JJ.
No, not me. I've tapped out a long time ago.
Reedy out of the middle. Again, so another centre clearance for big Liam Reedy. 9 clearances for his morning thus far. He's been tremendous. Saints can clear through, Pat said. Sends it wide. Banfield rises among the pack. Keeler stayed down. Tried the big fend on Sam Payer, who said, "No, Isaac, I'm not having that." And then Isaac Keeler threw the ball at him.
Yeah, and well umpired as well. Keeler's about to give away a 50 on top of it. So
try to give one high to Logan as well. Deep entry. Free kick to Carlton. Gallenbertie's not thrilled about that. Flynn Young, conversely, is.
And again, that's got to go back on Keeler. I know he doesn't give away the free kick, but the ball shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be putting your defenders under pressure. They're not anticipating that ball coming in, and just there's a lack of discipline there. It's poor from him, and in a way, he was not far off giving away a 50-metre penalty. So not good enough from him. That's just being selfish, that sort of stuff.
So a busy morning for Flynn Young. Just the finishing touches have eluded him on a couple of occasions. And again there, 1 goal, 3 and 1 out of bounds on the full now.
A likeable player, though. I'd love to see his GPS, what that looks like, whether he's a hard-working, roaming player or whether he sort of does spend most of his time sort of 0 to 70 from goal. If he can add that work rate, he's going to be a real handful as a player.
Howard brings it in for the Saints. Read nicely off hands by Carroll to Banfield, who gets mown down. Terrific tackle from Taj Logan, who's added a real spark for this Carlton team. Young back with the flight, almost pulled it in, handed it off. Corrigan, handball knocked down. Critical defensive intervention from Fincher. Picked up by Young, throws it on the boots, and he's missed another one.
Cannot buy a goal.
He's a player, though. Even the ball control on the previous effort was excellent. Ison's quick little give fell to Young. Saints players were claiming that was touched anyhow, which is a good idea given the one that we saw was touched that wasn't anywhere even remotely close to being touched in the previous quarter.
Particularly at that end of the ground as well. So Flynn Young, 7 kicks, 1 goal, 4, 1 out of bounds on the full.
Getting the back of a teammate there.
McKenzie able to sort it out. Banfield again. Now over the top, Butler pulls it in just inside the boundary line. He was the late inclusion for the Saints this morning. Banfield, 10 disposals. Just the first mark for his morning, so he's had plenty of it. Hasn't necessarily had it in that kind of slow play situation. McRae for Hasty, a little bit too much zip on it for Angus Hasty. McRae goes back in to mop it up and he gets picked off by Cody Walker.
Good pursuit, might have hurt McRae there too.
There's a couple in on the tackle. Walker was the one who made it stick. He whacks it to half forward. O'Keefe batted away by Howard. Gallenbertie's handball, a nervous one defensively. O'Keefe and Taru run into each other. It's scrambling stuff from the Saints inside the defensive 50. Nice little toe poke from Armstrong. He gets pulled down by Ison. Umpire says chuck it in.
Love that battle there. Armstrong just socketed it up, a little bit of GA, and then the endeavour from Ison to make sure he didn't tap it up and continue the ball towards the Saints' goal. That was a great little battle there.
Seen a few of them throughout the course of the season. Taru. Footy in his shoelaces. Banfield will tumble it out of there. Boot on it by McKenzie. Worked out nicely for the Saints. And then he spent it. Harvey got him. Hollins tight to the boundary line, over and out.
Ison and Young, seen them play a few times across the VFL season. We've seen them at AFL level as well, but they both feel like they need another 20 or 30 VFL games, but both feel like they've got a lot to offer, just in terms of their craft and nous, just their ability to be dangerous as medium-sized forwards.
Ison, a true rookie, second season for Flynn Young.
You can see that both, you know, one off a rookie list, one off a mid-season draft. That's obvious because they're not necessarily fully finished products, but they've got a lot of traits that are very, very likeable.
Hoping to stick around for another season. Flynn Young out of contract at the end of this campaign. Lucas Campriali tied to the boundary line, spun around, and the pirouette will cost him. Got up and tried to argue his case with the umpire.
He's gone. Sometimes you just got to reward the great tackle, don't you?
He just didn't have a case to be operating with there. There's Ben Campriali. Can't keep that one alive. So, of course, Lucas, as you alluded to, JJ, played the 3 AFL games at the start of last year and hasn't played a lot of footy this year. Ben, on the other hand, played most of last season, 13 games at VFL level this season as well, and hasn't had the AFL opportunity as yet. So twins, of course, sons of Scott, great player for the Blues. McRae, Algieri, handball through the centre, running interference there was Logan. Walker lays another strong tackle to lock things up. Ed McGuinness gets a helping hand to his feet. Callum Birdie's had it across halfback more times than anyone in the game. Zach Williams, 18, but we won't be seeing him in this second half, as Alexia told us, out with a throat injury. Pay up in defence for the Blues. He was involved with the scrap of Keeler earlier on in the quarter. And Harry Dixon and Taj Logan can't keep it in.
Feels an important period of the game as Big Reedy takes a spell at 2 goals the difference midway through this third term. It feels like the next goal or two is very, very important in the game. Carlton will be trying to separate, and the Saints just keen to stay close enough given they've got the scoreboard end in the last quarter.
Liam Reedy with 2 times as many clearances as anyone else on the ground so far, with 9. Powerful for the Blues. Wiedering. He tried to go short to Boyd, and Pat said was awake to that. That'll please Brendan Goddard, that kind of intensity and attention to detail.
Often not in love, Geordie, with ruckman grabbing the ball out of the ruck, but on a day like today where field position is probably the most important thing, it does make sense.
I think so, and particularly a ruck in Dodson, which is doing a lot of the work by himself. He's basically being asked to do twice the work when you've got Reedy and Riley both swapping in there. It's not a bad call, exploiting a young ruck.
McKenzie and Wiedering. Poor old Bailey McKenzie.
Yeah, that was class from Wiedering.
Yeah, 5 goals won last time he stepped on the field, Bailey McKenzie at VFL level, and then he comes off that against Collingwood, goes into the bye, and then rolls out against Jacob Wiedering.
Yeah, he would have been flat as a tack when he saw the team list come out Thursday night.
And then hoping when they walked out, they just don't come to me, just don't come to me. Hudson O'Keefe with his first touch of the contest. Off to Fogarty, to the pocket. Moyer can't hang on, and it slips through.
I think for the key for the Saints here is if they do get it inside 50, they need to keep it in there. We've seen in that first quarter when the Blues had the wind in particular, they were able to rebound with so much pace. We just saw it then, a quick D50 to inside 50 transition. So Saints are going to want to make the most of their opportunities going against the wind in this quarter.
Thoughts of Collingwood AFLW Vice-Captain Geordie Allen alongside Josh Jenkins. Part of your Sunday ticket on Fox Footy. Aggressive kick back through the middle, and Alex Dodson, who's been tireless Feels like he's been out on the ground for the whole game. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that is the case. Well done from Moyer. First the turnover. Corrigan rolls into the open goal. And for the second time today, Ryder Corrigan pounces on the mistake from the Saints.
Yeah, costly. Referenced a minute or two ago, the next goal is crucial because if it goes to the Saints, they are right in the mix and they'll feel good about their chances getting toward three-quarter time, but it ends up a turnover, self-inflicted wound from the Saints. Corrigan gets his second. He thought about the handball over the top. It was a 2-on-1, but in the end, 25 metres out, shoulders out, charging downhill toward goal, took the responsibility and did the job, and just gives Carlton a really comfortable little buffer that if they can extend on, it's going to make it very hard for the Saints in the last term.
Did come with a rush in that second term, the Saints, but it's going to be a task from here. Oh, good mark taken over the top. Jack Benk coming in from the back. Read it nicely in flight.
It's beyond him here, given, you'd imagine, given what we've seen today. But so Carlton defensively, just a little short pockets of space. A couple of Saints just playing dead at 45 metres from goal. They're the ones you've got to be aware of here.
Got the big targets back there of the Blues. Benk weighs it up. Dropped it into the hole, trying to charge out was Banfield, but Ollie Hollands was awake to it all.
Is that a set play, JJ?
Yeah, I think no doubt that he probably wanted a little bit more punch in that kick, but something most clubs try and do just to set that ball up.
Long kick out of defence for the Blues, scooped up by Davey. Oh, through the hands inside forward 50 of Corrigan. Armstrong, his handball set a task for Gallenberti, who might have copped one high in the process, and the umpire said it was a dump tackle, and Jordan Boyd disagrees with that again. I don't know that he's ever heard a whistle that he even mildly agreed with that didn't go his way.
No, and he's laying on top of his opponent, which might give him an indication as to why the free kick was paid.
I love the spirit he plays the game with as they go inside 50 again, the Saints, and Benk is again. He'll almost have the same kick. Now, can you roll with the same play?
Well, this is where clubs, they look to try and set up a little short, just pinch another 6 or 7 metres so that someone is genuinely within range. I mean, when it's windy like this, it's such a difficult kick.
So what's he got on offer here, Jack Benk? This time he thought about taking it on. It'll fall short. Can he get a plaque? Yes, he can! Richardson!
Good mark in a big pack. Reedy and Wiedering there. It's a good mark. No need to give it away. Just walk away. Got a kick from the top of the goal square. Just stay out of it.
Wouldn't be messing with Liam Reedy today either, just quietly.
If you're desperate to get on the lip, just wait until he kicks the goal.
Billy Richardson hasn't kicked one yet. 3-2 last time out. He's going to stroll in from the top of the square and punch it through. And that's an important one for the Saints, their first of the second half.
An important one indeed, particularly when the inside 50 count this quarter is looking decidedly lopsided in favour of the Blues. So for the Saints to be able to convert with just the 3 inside 50s, we saw them try that set play that almost resulted in a D50 to inside 50 chain in favour of the Blues. They're able to work it back, and Billy Richardson was the one that put it through.
21 goals on the season now for Richardson. Just
Likely
on the
enough
bench,
type, isn't he?
Yeah. 195 centimetres, still only 20 years of age. I don't know whether he's overestimated the height there and been asked to do that subjectively, or that was an objective measurement.
If he's been honest, he needs to be dishonest and just put it up to about 198, 199.
Give himself 4 or so. Warburton in the middle for the Blues, can't take it with him. The Shepparton products. It's trapped under the pack. Ben Campriali helped up So back to 13 points. Saints close enough, if good enough from here. Reedy's got sick of ripping it out of the ruck. He thought, I might just throw a boot at it this time. Trying to keep himself entertained at this point, Liam Reedy, as Hollins gets run down by Banfield. And the Saints are away, and maybe it was a poor decision in the end. Butler had to try and knock it onto advantage. And Sard scooped it in. Warburton, Hollins got it from Campriali. And then he got dumped after he disposed of it, which we've seen a lot of in recent weeks.
Yeah, that's a focus area for sure. That's a big free kick to concede, though. The Saints were about to win that ball back, and instead they're going to be defending at the top of their own defensive goal square.
Flynn Young drops it into the hole. Going back, Hartman, Ison, tackled. Umpire says ball up.
Well, typically that's one way or the other. He's played for the free kick big time there, Ison. He's gone from up to down. That should have been holding the ball.
Richardson in defence now. Just stuck the 1 metre.
That's the example, Geordie, isn't it, from Ison, that really ruffles the opponent's feathers, because that's a player really searching for a free kick that's not there.
And particularly as a defender, if you get that paid against you and it leads to a goal, you are absolutely seething.
Yeah, it's clear there. It was clear live and clear on the replay that he went back down with the ball in his hand to look for a free kick, and the arm rising up is always a dead giveaway. He's done that a little bit. We've seen it at AFL level from him. You'd just love him to get that out of his game.
Reedy blasts it forward. Chance for Riley. Moyer, can he make something work here? Saints scramble back there to see it through. 2 goals 5 in the quarter for Carlton after St Kilda kicked 2 goals 6 to the same end in quarter number 2.
Don't know how you'd describe this game, JJ, but it seems... I was about to use the word urgent or fierce. I think fierce might be a better description. It just seems it's oftentimes in games you see this up and down sort of to and fro. As we see Sard a bit frustrated there.
Short arm jab.
Yeah, a bit of a flop too.
McGuinness, slow kick inside 50. Keeler's on the end of it.
Just seems that both teams have been alert for an entire 3 quarters, which has, I think, made it the game that it is.
Yeah, both teams have done plenty that's been quite likeable. That's really sharp, deliberate, inside 50 kick. Keeler's only just within range, so kicking in the wind like this is so difficult. You can see the trees in the background just swirling all over the place. So this is going to take a really, really good kick.
Try and make it a single-figure game. Isaac Keeler comes in and delivers a really, really good kick.
A really good kick, and we spoke about earlier on in the game, he gave away a free kick which resulted in an inside 50, and we spoke about that infringement and how costly it can be for a team that's trying to remain in touch and chase down the opposition team. So to be able to get one back here and put 6 points on the board for your team is important.
Just unnecessary from Sard. You can argue whether it's 50 or not. The important thing is that the umpire decided it was, and it leads to Keeler's goal. He clearly displays talent, Isaac Keeler. I just don't know what his long-term position is. He's probably a forward that can pinch hit in the ruck. He does have a nice leap on him, but got to continue to develop his body, get himself better conditioned so that he can get to more contests and have more of an impact.
See the glimpses with him in terms of his aerial ability, but he just has a few too many games where not a lot happens. Reedy comes charging out of the middle again, and again he tried to drop it in the 50 to Riley. Almost that connection between the two rucks, working beautifully.
I feel pretty good about this, the Saints. If they get to 3/4 time, still a couple of minutes to go, if they can get to 3/4 time with this being the margin, I think they'll feel pretty good about themselves.
Reedy now a team high 19 disposals, 10 clearances and 9 inside 50s for the Blues.
Can add one there.
Still floating around here, waiting for it to come out. Free kick going to Chambers, who got horse-collared by Ben Campriali.
I thought Reedy was going to walk out the front door and snap a goal then. That'd just sum up his day, wouldn't it?
Chambers whacks it up that outer side. Sampaio puts his fist through it to get it to the boundary line.
He's actually been a really good pickup by the Blues from over in the West, because you really need, clubs spend so much time looking for competent backups who, you know, can make your VFL team better, but also come in and play a role in the ruck when needed.
Got another one in. Flynn Riley as well, of course, who's taken the mid-season draft this year. Chance inside the 50 here for Riley. He and O'Keefe working in close confines in the pocket. So Kilda will try and bounce it back the other way. Not being able to keep it in is Bailey McKenzie. Trying to do his bit coming up the ground.
A Tom Campbell type who just continued to bounce around the competition with different teams, because it's like a backup quarterback. If your number one ruckman goes down, look at the Western Bulldogs with Tim English. They go from an All-Australian calibre ruckman to when he's not there, and I believe he's not going to be there potentially for the next week or so. If you don't have a backup, you're in strife.
Just need a bit of Chase Daniel action.
Yeah.
The designated backup.
Best job in America, they say.
Yep. John Kittner. There's been a few over the years. Ben Campriali. Cody Walker lays the tackle again. He's been fierce in that aspect of the game today. And then that one was a little bit overzealous, perhaps, from Butler, who at least offered to give his opposite number 16 a hand up. Jack McRae will take the free and then have to take it again. So just making sure things are done in the right way, and he does the exact same thing. So the result wasn't necessarily surprising. Butler will get it back.
I think as an industry we need to be a little bit more deliberate with what we term a triple-double in footy. But Liam Reedy's got 21 disposals, 11 clearances and 9 inside 50s. So he's flirting with that type of stat line.
He's on the verge. You just need someone to kick a goal. They go back to the middle and he'll rack that up pretty comfortably, you imagine. Oh, Holland's dangerous. Harvey made it work. Saints with 2 goals in the term. Same for the Blues. Wiedering. He's been exactly as we imagined across half-back for Carlton. 13 disposals. Prout. Oh, edge of the 50 mark. Dropped by Tucker. Just had to have it.
Yeah, had to have it. It was a good build-up. Wiedering spread the ground with that wide kick. The handball received back through, and Tucker just took his eye off the ball, or just didn't concentrate. It was very costly.
Lucas Campriali on the left boot to the pocket, and it slips through past O'Keefe and out.
Experienced player, Tucker. You'd expect him to gobble that one up, but
former Docker and Roo, captain of Carlton's VFL team this year, Darcy Tucker.
I feel like they need one more here, the Blues. 16 inside 50s to 4 in the quarter. Field position domination, but only an 8-point margin to show for it.
Reedy out of the ruck, kick smothered. Sard has a go. He hooks it high into the teeth of the breeze and misses.
I think the strategy here from the Saints would just be trying to see themselves through to three-quarter time. This might be Howard buying a little bit of time off the clock. Yet the umpire's not having it.
Does he understand the time on, time off rules?
It was optimistic from Dougal, that's for sure.
What was he doing then?
I think he was trying to get another player in to take it and try milk another 10-15 seconds off the clock. Needs to get his head in that rule book, doesn't he?
Even though the umpire had called time dead after the score. Anyhow, he's been prone to those sorts of strange decisions along the way.
Another opportunity for the Blues. Tucker sends it deep. Riley, almost.
Piece of that.
Yeah.
Keen to see that replay.
Possession not 9/10 of the law in Moorabbin.
Wow. Let's have a look. They always look a mark in slow-mo. No, I don't know. Maybe not.
Good call.
Might have been a little bit more convincing. That's 100% speed, that one. Butler flips it blindly over his head. Gallenberti, so he's kicked it out of bounds on the 4. Carlton are really pressing here, trying to ram home this advantage to go to three-quarter time. The Saints will have the aid of the breeze in the final term. And they made a charge at the Blues in the second quarter when they had the breeze at their back. Boyd drives it deep. Drives it really deep and away to the left.
Wasteful. Rather put pressure on the Saints defenders and drop that ball 15 metres out from goal. Get a contest. Chance for a free kick. A crumb. That was just wasted.
Another who's out of contract at the end of the year, Jordan Boyd, just the 2 AFL games for him this season. Wiedering with a towering mark. And he just rolls it along the turf inside the forward 50. Along the boundary line. Banfield stands in harm's way once more.
You could see what Wiedering was trying to do. Obviously aware of the clock running down, wanted to move it on quickly. And an uncharacteristic skill error there from him. Probably not a bad result, as you said, JJ, though. It's better off plugging it in that 30 to 35, that danger area, rather than sending it deep where it's easier to defend.
So deep in this third term, Blues have dominated territory. Just haven't been able to put it on the scoreboard in a meaningful way with 2 goals, 7 for the quarter. McRae tries to carve his way out of trouble. Clean hands from Cody Walker. Harvey, Warburton to the edge of the arc. A couple of Saints collide. Taru came in very quickly. Hollands off to Reedy. Fogarty through the hands of O'Keefe.
Boy.
They all fell over. Davey almost kept his feet, threw his boot at it. It was St Kilda finals are out of the question, but they can still influence those teams above them in their chase for postseason action. Dodson goes straight in and lays a high tackle on Ben Campriali. So the Blues will take us forward to start. Liam Reedy dominant in ruck today. 24 disposals, 12 clearances, 9 inside 50s for the big fella. Campriali kicks it a mile. Moya bats it down. He throws Howard to the ground.
Could be a first goal wins situation, Geordie, I reckon. If the Saints can get it, particularly early, they're going to have all the momentum and feel really good about it. But if there might not be a lot of goals left in the game.
Fogarty, Logan, Ben Campriali, back to Lucas Campriali, who kicked one in that third term. To full forward, Ison waited for it to come down. Good tackle laid. Sard over the shoulder. Not quite.
Just the wrong player in the right spot there. Needed the left footer. He needed to be on the other side. He would have done the job there, no doubt about it. But good little build-up, particularly against this breeze. Play a few early minutes in your forward 50. Certainly go a long way.
Had scored at VFL level before today, Adam Sard. A couple of behinds for his morning. 20 disposals as well. No Zach Williams, so they're a player down on the bench for the remainder here. Now the Blues. We'll take a look at the Saints bench. Trying to keep warm early in this final term. And here's big Liam Reedy. So 9 inside 50s as it stands. Chalk it up for a 10th. So he's got that triple-double sorted out. Disposals, clearances, and inside 50s for Reedy, all in double figures. He's been a huge presence, of course. Jacob Wiedering out there for the Blues, if you're just joining us. Cody Walker as well. Dan Butler, the late inclusion for St Kilda today. Kicked a brilliant goal at this end of the ground in the second term. Gets out the back here. Bailey McKenzie hasn't seen a lot of it. And he just couldn't snap that one home.
Geez, didn't Keeler just sink his boot into it? It just fell out the back. I think they knew that he had an absolute leg on him, but with the wind assist, it just carried a little bit further than they thought it was going to, got stuck under it. They almost put it through.
Be a sign of things to come in this final term. From the approach, again, Taru. He's been jumping them all over them this morning. He sticks it inside the 50 and finds Henry.
That's a remarkable grab, considering the ball's been falling to the front. He jumps up over the pack and takes the big hanger up over two. And unfortunately for Corrigan, that is more than legal.
Yeah.
You've just been placed on a poster.
Human highlight reel for better or for worse, Alex Taru.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes both in the same game. Liam Henry, he's been quiet as well. Gets his opportunity from the top of the 50, and it slips through his grasp.
With the wind, are we going to see the Saints obviously have more opportunity to hit the scoreboard, but are we going to see them do what Carlton did in the third quarter and miss the important opportunities by kicking goals?
Oh, wow. Dane Harvey's kicked it up in the air and it's just stopped and floated out of bounds on the full. I know they're playing VFLW down at Williamstown this morning. Pretty blustery there. I think Jackie Votts kicked a 70-metre goal in that game down there this morning. But it had no purchase on it off the boot of Dane Harvey. Chambers runs around. Smacks it back the other way, and Keeler's latched onto it in the pocket.
Good mark. I think Wiedering just accepted that that ball was going to travel across the line. Now, again, with this wind, this is why you'd prefer to play in howling rain than howling wind, because it's just so difficult. Even the ball drop from hand to foot with the breeze can completely throw out a kick.
So Isaac Keeler, one already, kicks his second. And we have got a 3-point game in our hands again.
And puts that through, as you said, JJ just followed it through, just saw it through across the line. You could see he was being rushed by Hollins and Sard there. I think Sard was trying to petition that maybe it went over the point post, but the goal umpire signalled for a goal.
Yeah, well, there's the first. And right now, I'd probably prefer to be the Saints to get the all-important first goal. Still behind, but it's been very, very difficult to score to the left-hand side of screen. So Keeler, he's had some poor moments in the game, but he's had a couple of big moments, a goal either side of three-quarter time.
Saints have not led at any stage. Tucker for the Blues across the back 50. Bounce gets away from Walker. So does Armstrong. McGuinness spears it inside the arc. And a mark to Collard. And Collard can kick for the lead.
They're up and about, the faithfuls. They know that this is a big opportunity, and the momentum of the game, huge contest win at ground level. Really, really good work from Armstrong. He's been impressive in the contest.
Only one goal for the season for Lance Collard. Starts at left, tries to bring it back, and that was never doing enough.
I think that was a miss kick rather than a strategic pointing at the left point post, hoping that the wind will take it. Saw Camporelli slot it from a beautiful spot, just put it to the left point post and let the wind do the talking, but Collard pushes it too far.
Quiet day for Collard. Wiedering takes the mark. Disposal number 14 for Jacob Wiedering. 9 marks in the game.
Oh, look at just sit in the air there.
It just stops. It just hits the wall and stops. Banfield back inside the 50. McKenzie, will he be paid the mark? Yes, he will. Holland's got there a fraction late. And Bailey McKenzie with the opportunity.
in a weird way, a goal here for the Saints wouldn't be the worst thing for the Blues, because they cannot get it out of their back half. Getting the ball back to the middle where Reedy has been so dominant might give them a chance to get some field position, because they cannot get the ball out of their back half, and even their back 50. It's been repeat entry after repeat entry for the Saints.
Leading goal kicker this season, Bailey McKenzie heads of the lead. For the first time today, St Kilda hit the front.
First time today. It feels like the Saints have actually, owned this game in part, so that surprises me, and I'm sure there'll be many at home who feel the same. It's definitely been an arm wrestle for the best part of 4 quarters, so the Saints will be riding the highs. As you mentioned, JJ, the faithfuls are getting involved. Everyone was absolutely stoked with that effort of Armstrong there on the near side wing, so the momentum is definitely falling in favour of the Saints.
And that's what it means for the Blues. So at the start of the quarter, they were 6th.
Wow.
And now they, with 1 game to play, that coming against Footscray next week, would sit outside the wildcard spots.
Wow.
Coburg and Williamstown still to play today.
Wow, it's a crucial game for the Blues. So they're still in this contest, no doubt about it. But it's going to be uphill from here.
Reedy out of the ruck.
While we were happy to concede a goal.
Just like you drew it up, JJ. Dixon attacks it with some vigour, as does Banfield, who's just been throwing himself at everything all morning.
On Reedy, we've obviously been talking about his clearance work and his ability to, do it in the air. He's had 15 ground ball gets. He's had more than any other player on the ground. He's one of the largest out there, and he's getting it done.
It's only him and Jack McRae who are in double figures in that category so far in the ball game. Saints will walk it out of the stoppage. Here is Jack McRae. Got it from Butler. Takes a bounce and a second as he charges to left half forward. Assesses the options and sticks it to Jack Bank, who was out of bounds.
Not on that occasion. It was a good build-up. The handball, Reedy going back from the clearance by hand, just missed the target and allowed the Saints the opportunity.
Oh, Holland's run down! Collard got him! Lance Collard wins the free kick for St Kilda.
Not sure what's happened with Hollands there. It's as if he would have been able to feel Collard. He was going to kick on the left and then wanted to use the right. By the time he made both decisions, which were non-decisions, he was gone.
I think he thought he might have been able to just slip him at the last second.
Good pursuit from Collard.
Fantastic.
Had a similar kick earlier in the term, Lance Collard. What's he learnt from it? Not quite. He had the locals fooled for a moment there. And it just snuck the wrong side of the post. So Carlton with the 1 behind in this term, and St Kilda already with 2 goals for. So they've scored from every one of their inside 50s thus far, the Saints.
It's a good rate, and that's a good time. Weedering up the ground and help try and get some field position back.
It's clever. He's just not going to be able to match his strength there, really. Win a half back from Hartman is going to stay in Carlton hands. Free kick and advantage being paid. Tucker's going to walk it in and he's missed.
Should have goaled and shouldn't have been advantage. So let's call that square.
That's the footy gods, maybe just exerting their influence.
The ball travelled 15 or 20 metres because of the spoil, and Tucker was allowed to run and grab it, pick it up and take advantage. It was a strange call from the umpire. I didn't necessarily agree with it.
Benk at half-back for the Saints makes the contest from the kick-in. And on the end of it too, Butler, Dodson. He has been tireless today, Alex Dodson. He's had his work cut out for him. He's kept chipping away. Banfield inside 50. And Big Billy's on the end of it. Richardson will kick from the pocket.
From one end to the other, Tucker misses one that he should have kicked, and the Saints go end to end. Shot at goal from a kick in. you only score about 4 or 5% of the times you kick the ball back in from a behind. This looks like one of those times.
Richardson comes in and he misses it to the right.
I wonder what Trustlove's evaluation of his Blues at this point in time in the game. He spoke about
saw one of the worst kicks of all time from the spectator.
Off the inside instep. He was talking about the Saints' ability to outnumber, and it still seems like they're getting more numbers to the contest than the Blues at the moment. And that was crucial in that transition play end-to-end from the Saints, so they've got to tighten up in that area.
Some dash from the Blues. They can sense the urgency. Having fallen behind in the game for the first time all day. Led for the first 3 quarters. For a lot of that time by double figures. Chance for Davey inside 50. Really clever kick to open it up for Ison. He knocks it onto the square, and O'Keefe toe pokes it home and puts the Blues back on top and back into 6th.
Well, his first kick of the day. He'd had a handball, and admittedly, I'm not going to be critical of him because it's a very tough day for tall forwards.
Did Davey mean this, do you reckon?
I think he did, yes. Yep, I think he definitely did. I'm happy to give him the benefit of the doubt. No doubt he did.
100%.
Saw him, absolutely. And it was clever from Ison as well.
So clever.
Quick of mind there, because that ball sat up. If he takes possession, he gets tackled. So, really, really good work from, firstly from Davey and then from Ison. It was the run and gun, though, off half-back.
Absolutely.
Not going to be able to kick their way through this Saints defence because of the wind. So run and gun, take the game on. It almost got turned over a couple of times, but it is the way forward for them, particularly with Hollins and Sard, who can do those types of things. And Boyd's come into the game with 21 disposals as well.
There is going to be an element of risk attached to this for Carlton if they're to emerge victorious. Dodson forces it forward, out of the middle. Carroll, Armstrong, looked over the top. Again, working hard, Armstrong. They throw themselves back in. Walker lays the tackle. This will be a free. This will be a Carlton free against Patrick Said, who found himself on the bottom of all of it. And Cody Walker was over the top with the tackle and sells a little bit of candy as well for his trouble. Sends it down the broadcast wing. Taru's been powerful in the air. He gets dragged down by Ison. And right on halfway, it is brought to a stop.
Just found a length here, the Blues. Look at that. 1 goal, and they launch from 11th to 6th.
So Port, Williamstown and Coburg, who are currently those 2 teams outside the wildcard spots, play later today.
Yeah, Taru's come off
a little bit sore.
Maybe a shoulder issue there.
Alexia Pesce to keep an eye on that. Along the boundary line, the Blues operate. Riley, Walker, Hollins. Now Ben Campriali. Little knock on from Fogarty. It needed to be sharp. It was almost up to the task. Hollins into traffic. Warburton. Sard gets poleaxed. They are really ramping up the intensity now, these 2 teams. They can sense the moment. The game there for the taking.
Come off a foot of a Saint there, I reckon. Ricocheted off a foot.
Armstrong it was. Cody Walker senses the opportunity to get another touch. Howard stood in the road and we paid the free. So a free kick to the Saint at half-back. We saw Alex Taru come off the ground. Alexia Pesce, what are you seeing with him?
He's coming sat straight down, but he hasn't been having any treatment from the doctors as of just yet. He's waved them away, so keep an eye on it.
I think I know what the issue was then.
Yes.
It was either a shoulder or something else.
He had a little bit of a limp up and he might have copped a whack where you don't necessarily want to, and he's just on the bench at the moment before bringing himself back on. He's had a telling influence on the contest a few times. The ball's been punched out of play.
Onto the roof, I think.
Onto the roof. Now, if we cannot get a VFL spoil onto the golden fist on bounce, I don't think we ever will if that doesn't make it.
Does it count as a VFL spoil if it came off Jacob Wiedering?
Exactly. Andrew Gaze, if you are watching, get that on your show tonight as part of our Sunday ticket.
I'll reach out to the great man.
Bang!
Ball has gone on the roof. That's a first in football history.
Well, they're going to have
That's never happened in footy history.
just tuck it away for the Files. No bounce tonight. Back next week, of course, with Spud's game tonight.
See, Reedy's going to get done for a free kick there. Butler could easily have also been done for a block. He's got no right to stand in the way of the ruckman.
Just a little bit of tension simmering away in this game now.
He sucked him in there, Butler, but the umpire could have easily pinned him for blocking the ruckman.
He's gone back a mile. Coming off the long run here is Dan Butler. They fly inside the 50. Nothing decisive among it all. Henry tries to emerge through the traffic. It is a congested forward 50 for the Saints. They trail by 1. They hit the front earlier in the term. Carlton has led for the first 3.5 quarters in the game. A win for the Blues. They'll be in the top 6. A loss, they'll be outside the top 10. Such are the swings and roundabouts of this result. Dodson. Henry had a moment's space, got closed down immediately. Chambers, what can they find outside the arc? Gallimberti, he sets it up. Prout's there, and it's bashed defensively by Harvey for the Blues.
Good spoil too, not to concede the behind. He's trying to deal with the aerial ball first and foremost, but behinds are going to be almost as valuable as goals in the last 6 or 8 minutes of this game.
Saints deep inside 50. Shallow throw in. Tap back out toward the boundary. Umpire says toss it in again. Reedy's been dominant. Waitering down there, marshalling the troops in defence for the Blues at the moment. The Saints have kicked 2 goals to 1 in the term. They trail by a solitary point. On the burst is Butler. Terrific tackle from Logan Prout.
Should have stayed outside. He would have made it obvious that Butler had the arm free had he stayed away from the tackle and not become the third man in.
Reedy again wins it down. McRae, Hollins, Prout scrambles it out of there. It might come back, and it might come back with interest. Chambers has one go. He's collected his own hand pass. Hasty, almost an infringement of the stand rule from Ison. Hasty's called to move it on. That he does. High kick, long kick. Richardson, no mark. Boundary throw in.
Ison lucky. I mean, he's trying to move based on the player's movement. You've got to be aware of the umpire there. If there's a delay in that play on call, you can be pinged there. So everything's tense now. Every little mistake matters.
2 goals in 8 minutes in this quarter to hit the front, the Saints. They haven't scored a major one since then. Wiedering pounds it back the other way. They can't keep it alive. Almost off a boot. It will be a boundary throw in.
So even that, not allowing an intercept mark. It's a restart stoppage outside your defensive 50 versus that ball coming back in, putting pressure on your defenders, risking free kicks against.
The little moments are the big moments. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come. These two teams to do battle at AFLW and AFL men's level this afternoon.
That has come off Henry's boot.
Unlucky.
So all of a sudden some field position here. Be keen though. Hollins will be lucky to get this to halfway if he kicks it long down the line.
Gold Coast and the Giants next from Canberra. We've got a thrilling finish coming up here as part of your Sunday ticket on Fox. Hollins kicks it into the
That hurts.
centre square. There is an infringement in the contest. Reedy giving away the free to Dodson. Jeez, his 8-metre kick almost come unstuck.
Call it 7.
Just not sure that going back down the skinny side where all the density was is the play there. There was a Saints player, a defender open on the open side.
Oh, nervous moments. Prout, now Fogarty.
I think the Blues here, you want to 22 minutes gone, not even. You don't want to retreat, particularly in your back half. I think you want to try and have methodical run and carry so that you can get some time. If you can get 2 or 3 minutes in your front half, it's going to kill a lot of time left in this game.
22 played in the last. Blues are hanging on to the narrowest of leads.
Another free kick against in a marking contest.
This one is going to Hartman. Has the advantage been paid?
Wow.
Again, a significant downfield advantage. Jack McRae on the edge of the 50. Misses, but ties the scores.
See, I'd be wanting to get this ball in as quick as possible before the Saints kick in, defence gets set, because you just can't get the ball far enough away.
Henry stands under it and takes the mark. And inside the 50, the man who's marked everything. The flying Viking Alex Tarou's got it. The man who mixes glorious and inglorious in equal doses. He has got a chance for some glory here.
Yeah, well, he can do both here, even by missing. An inglorious miss will be a glorious result, because any score is a very, very valuable score here.
He'll kick from right on the 50.
Uh-oh.
And he's just snuck it in, so we fall into the category of inglorious.
But it'll do.
Wiedering's working up the ground here.
The Blues down by a point again there. They will slide from 6th on the ladder to 11th if it remains as is. They have won 4 in a row. The Saints have lost 4 in a row. Walker off half-back. Hasty. Terrific mark to pull it in with one hand.
Nice. Forward to try and find 1 or 2 marks. It looks like Collard there. Ought to use Collard on the short.
He whacks it as far as he can. Tarou hits the pack hard again. Dodson's there, throws it on his boot, tries to roll it forward. Tackle, high tackle. And a free kick to St Kilda. And it is Charlie Banfield who has not taken a backward step all day.
Big moment. Dodson again. Richardson, just get out of there. Don't even engage in it. Carlton players are going to try and chip away and get this one reversed, but just stay out of it. You've got the free kick. Carlton players aren't happy about it, suggesting there was a raising of the arm again, but it's irrelevant now.
Charlie Banfield, 4 goals, 5 on the season, comes in, kicks truly, and the Saints could be spoiling a very big Carlton party, and their fans will be hoping there's more of it to come.
I think the fans are going to blow the roof off the Danny Frawley Centre there. Look at this. We'll have another look at it.
You don't like the action, do you?
I do think the high infringement was there before the action, though.
It's just, I mean, it's just something that's in the game. It's some players naturally, I mean, it's probably an instinctive move from Banfield, but you can understand why the Blues players are annoyed about it. The off arm coming up is the part that annoys, because that's the action that suggests I am looking and trying to draw a high free kick. I agree. I think the first point of contact was high. When you see the off arm come up, that's when you get opposition players offside.
Yeah.
The Blues will be back on Fox Footy next Sunday against Footscray. Whether they go into that game outside the 10 or inside the 10, maybe inside the 6, is still yet to be determined. The swings in this game have been wild in this last term for Carlton's fortunes in the season as a whole. They've matched the tenor of the last quarter. Butler gets dumped by Ben Campriali. And then so Butler's tried to play on. Campriali's pinched the footy and then not giving it back to him on the full. So there's a little bit of leniency in there from the umpire.
Take it off him for time wasting.
Butler wheels away. There's a push. It's going to Carlton. Moyer, who's been deployed in defence in these last moments. He wants to move it with some urgency. Holland Hollins back to Moya. There you see the territory dominance for the Saints in this term. Ben Cambriale, terrific mark under duress.
Yeah, superb mark. Unfortunately, as sore and sorry as he is, he's got to get going and try and move the footy. They might have missed the trick, the Blues. They look good when they've been able to run and carry the ball into the breeze. Perhaps something they could have and should have tried earlier in the game.
Jordan Boyd. They need to go now, the Blues.
It's all this stuff. It's been really good. The short, sharp kicking, the guys looking for that handball receives. It's been really, really good, but it's going to be too little too late, you'd imagine.
Hollins inside the 50, and Taru, another mark for his morning. 7. 3 of them particularly impressive. There's Jacob Wiedering with 12 marks in his return at VFL level, 18 disposals for Wiedering. Liam Reedy's had it 28 times. He's had a massive game. Cody Walker's seen plenty of it as well. Might ultimately not be enough.
Oh, boy.
Oh, free kick for a push. So they'll go to St Kilda.
Thought that was an unrealistic attempt from Keeler there.
So Keeler was pushed into the pack, according to the umpire, so he will get the free kick as opposed to giving it away.
What do you reckon the Blues make of that free kick count now, JJ?
It was 9-0, so the percentages have come back in their favour. Prout got caught. Nothing there on the tackle for Bank. Harvey determined in defence for the Blues. Hollins, Moya, the run of Cambriale to try and get it out of there. Armstrong closed him down.
He was taken
did
down.
so illegally.
Yeah, I'll just remind Blues fans and footy fans in general, there is no rule that says the free kick count has to be the same for both teams. They just have to be accurate.
Ison out wide. Reedy, has he got one more charge left in him? He takes on McRae, got boot to ball, and it worked out.
Got to go, got to go.
Ison to Walker, the two great mates, the youngsters. Walker to O'Keefe.
He's marked it.
He had 4 against him. How's he pulled that in?
Oh, he's caught a ball up.
Oh, the umpires has called a ball up. Gee, it was going to be unlikely if Hudson O'Keefe was to have pulled that in. Cambriale saw on the bench.
No sense of theatre, the umpire. Just pay it, mate.
He wasn't going to be able to kick the journey. Hopefully Cambriale's okay. He was ridden into the ground. He looks in a fair bit of discomfort there with a left shoulder issue.
Sort of right on the top of that shoulder that he felt the discomfort with, that he pointed to. So not much time left. Inside forward 50 for the Blues. That's whacked out of there.
Clever.
Carlton have won 4 in a row. That streak will come to an end as the Saints produce a super final term. They end a 4-game winning streak of the Blues, a 4-game losing streak for themselves. And Carlton had 6th spot at their beck and call, and they will end the round